Oh, what's good, YouTube, man? It's Gabriel, Jump Fan TV, man. Back at another video at the content. Video, go smash that like button at the content of this channel. Go ahead, subscribe, man. Look, so John Harbaugh gave his weekly Monday press conference. Obviously, nothing to talk about as far as the game goes because the Ravens played on Thursday, but he did mention some things that were very, very key and I think interesting when it comes to Ravens injuries, especially injuries to key players, right? So let's get right into it. So the first one he mentioned that I thought was interesting was that Odell Beckham has no like long term issue with his shoulder. That he pretty much said that every guy on the team has something that they got to deal with and push through. That he can list off a bunch of names. Go through the entire team, right? And we can say this guy needs this guy needs that. He said that you could do that throughout the entire roster. Like, Odell Beckham's issue is not anything that's going to be long term, and he should be able to play through it, right? Which is something that's been a consistent message, but it's good to hear that reassurance once again about that, right? All right. So the second thing I thought he said that was interesting was that Marlon Humphrey is they're hoping to get Marlon Humphrey back this week, is how he phrased it, right? So Marlon Humphrey went down with that calf injury. Everybody was concerned, myself included, that it might have been much worse, Achilles, something like that. Now, obviously, we'll know more when like injury reports and practice reports and stuff like that come out. But the fact that Marlon Humphrey is only potentially going to miss one game and be right back out there to play, that's big news for the Ravens, right? This Ravens secondary, this Ravens defense has been playing really well, but they are a different unit when Marlon Humphrey is out there and he's healthy and he's ready to go, right? So to me, that's two big things that are really good to hear. Some really big news as far as that, right? So if Marlon Humphrey is back and he's okay, he's good to go, that's great news for the Ravens, right? Because with Brandon Stevens playing well, Marlon Humphrey on the other side, with Marcus Williams back and Geno Stone, him and that back there kind of playing safeties. You got Kyle Hamilton in that slot role. That's a really, really good secondary for the Ravens, right? Now we can debate whether or not Marcus Williams should still be playing. I think he still is playing with one arm, but he's doing well enough right now where it's not a liability. We'll see if that changes in the future, right? Something else that a lot of y'all have been asking for and asking about. One of the reporters, it might have even been Justin Reback, asked him about Travis Vokolek. Could he be brought up from the practice squad and given opportunities to play? John Harbaugh said he's excited about Travis Vokolek's future and that everything's on the table and that is a possibility that he could see some playing time, right? Now, that very well could just mean special team kind of roles, right? I don't expect to see him getting a bunch of snaps right off the jump in the first team offense, but he was brought up, he was mentioned, he was a special teams, not a special teams, he was a preseason star, a guy that I really like, when I saw him live in the training camps, when you watched him on TV, he jumped off. So we'll see what he could do with giving maybe more opportunity, right? See if he can take advantage of the opportunity, maybe actually get on the field and, maybe actually play some games, right? That'd be very, very interesting to see, all right? But the big news and the title of this video is that John Harbaugh said that there's an outside chance that Mark Andrews can return this season, right? Now, what exactly does that mean, right? Now, the way he phrased it, or the way that it's being phrased throughout the media, is that it's going to have to be the Ravens making a deep playoff run, right? So, say if the Ravens were in a worse position, maybe not trying to maybe can't make the playoffs, he wouldn't be back like end of the regular season, right? It wouldn't be possible, right? But say the Ravens get through how they're going right now on a smooth path, and they get to say maybe like the conference championship game, right? He could play that. Hell, the Ravens do what they could do, get to the Super Bowl. He could play in that game, right? So that's kind of where it is for Mark Andrews right now. And this is great news, right? This kind of reminds me of, now I don't know, how old my subscribers are, but if y'all remember when Terrell Owens was on the Eagles, broke his leg, and then came back and played in the Super Bowl. Not only played really well, right? Was one of the best players on the field. Eagles ended up losing to the Patriots, but was one of the best players out there, right? Now, I wonder if Mark Andrews can have that same similar kind of story and we see him back in the playoffs for the Ravens, right? Now, I don't listen to too much what these Twitter doctors say and stuff like that, but I did see one guy, pretty reliable guy, got over 70K followers, so he was just saying that with Mark Andrews, how it is from the outside looking in, right? High ankle sprain plus a fibular fracture is usually an 8 to 12 week recovery, right? So the conference championship games are 9 weeks from now. So that will put him right in that window of being able to come back potentially, right? It's all potential, right? And then you stand out another 2 weeks if the Ravens to make it to the Super Bowl. he could play in that game as well, right? So it's very, very interesting, right? Could the Ravens could always use Mark Andrews if he's available and ready to play. But by that time, who knows who might be stepping up and things like that, right? But I thought that it was interesting the fact that he even has the potential to come back because the way it was phrased and way where it really seemed like, his season was over with. So for John Harbaugh to say something like, let me read the quote what he had up here. So it said it wasn't as bad as initially feared. We'll know more now that there is some optimism. And he said something like it was more like a cleaner kind of break, right? So for the Ravens, that's good news, right? That really is good news. The Ravens right now sit at, well, shoot, if the Eagles win tonight, the Ravens will be the number one seed in the AFC, right? So, the Ravens are sitting in a really, really good spot to actually not only, finish out the rest of the season strong, but actually have a good playoff position. And with that playoff position, maybe even get that AFC Conference Championship game here. And, you can see a guy like Mark Andrews return. So I thought that was some news worth sharing, man. The fact that Odell Beckham is looking good with the shoulder injury. We're not going to be too concerned about that moving forward. I mean, he's playing better and better each and every week. So for him to be like, no, this is good, that's great. Because, Odell's coming off I think his first 100-yard game. I think they said maybe 3-4 years. Amazing, right? Marlon Humphrey, one of the team's best players, definitely one of their better corners on the team, right? With Brandon Stevens playing so lights out right now, just to bring back a guy like Marlon Humphrey, right, would be amazing. So going from a guy that we thought, it might have been a really serious injury, a bad injury, to him playing back potentially this upcoming game versus the Chargers, that's huge news. Travis Vokolek, preseason sensation, maybe he gets some bump. And then the biggest news of all, like I said, Mark Andrews having the potential to come back this year, right? Now, the Ravens are in a better spot than previous years to handle Mark Andrews' injuries. I'll talk about that in the previous video. Better wide receiving core. Isaiah Likely and Charlie Cole got another year underneath their belt, so they're even more experienced, right? But if there's an outside chance of Mark Andrews playing again, the Ravens will definitely take that. I know Mark Andrews will be jumping at the opportunity to come back. So for the Ravens, it's all good news, man. It's all good news. So we'll see what else comes out. I think maybe tomorrow I'll talk about the fact that the Ravens are coming on against like a really, really tough stretch of the season. So I may talk about that tomorrow. I'll talk about the games that's going on because for the Ravens to be the kind of team that we think they can be, this next like month and a half is really going short because the Ravens' schedule gets really, really crazy. Like really, really crazy. So I can't wait to talk about that. But yeah, man, so it's good news on the injury front for the Baltimore Ravens, man. Star players, they are going to be coming back. And, you can't ask for too much more, man. So I'm going to get out of here. It's Gabriel for Fan TV. I'm out.